Hello guys, welcome to my channel and also welcome to my new video. In this video, I'll teach you guys how to set up your very own Minecraft server using Google Cloud Platform. And this is going to be a full guide. This includes installation of vanilla server, installation of plugin server like Paper MC, installation on Bedrock server, and other like features like setting up a mount of the day, server properties, downloading your world bus and stuff like that. So in this video, I'll teach you guys how to do that. Before we start the video, the previous guide I had is a full guide, but there's some issues with the guide. It's outdated because the new version of Minecraft, by the time I'm recording this, is 1.17.1, and the Java is required for that is Java 16. The one that I installed on my previous one is Java 11. And that is very outdated and it will not work on Java servers of 1.17. If it's a Bedrock server, you don't need to worry about anything at all. You don't need to worry about the Java part. But if you're setting up a Java server, this is you can't even start up a Minecraft server that is 1.17.1 under a Java 11. It has to be 16. So in this video, I'll teach you guys how to do that step by step though. I'll link all the required links in the description below, and if you need help, join my Discord server. There's like a lot of people asking for help with the Java 16, so I'm making this video so people don't need to ask me questions about that, and they can actually happily enjoy the server. Well, they can if you want to. If you're interested to have an easier server management, so you don't need to worry like around like all the SSH connection, like screen and stuff like that, join my Discord server. Check out the hosting I have. It's called Article Hosting. It requires a lot of things that you think you never had on your SSH, like includes like file management, user access, like you can allow anyone to access your server and stuff like that. It's pretty cool though, but sometimes it's like a little bit buggy and stuff. So to actually link it, you have to ask me, the host owner, to link it for you. But if you just rather do it on through SSH and you're like, that's totally fine. I'll teach you that right in this video. So first thing first, we need to create an instance. So to allow to create instance, you need to have a billing information. If you don't have a billing information, you cannot make a virtual machine on Google Cloud. It is required. So don't comment me that, oh, I cannot make a virtual machine without a billing information. Yeah. If you don't have a billing information, well, you can't make one, so sorry, this isn't for you. But for people who has access to this, then you can just follow the steps there. So let's call any name you want on the server. So call this server name. Server name. It can be anything. I don't really care. So the region by default is US Central 1, which is in Iowa. And some people might like it there, but if you prefer the default one which is closest to you, then that's fine by me. You don't need to worry about that. But if you live far away from that, like me, I don't live in US at all, so you need to change that to somewhere that is closest to you. For me, it's Singapore. That's the closest. So in Asia, Southeast 1, Singapore. The zone, don't need to worry about that. Machine configuration, keep the machine family and series the same. Machine type you can change. For machine type, but the minimum I think you need to run your server smoothly is 4GB memory. But for this demonstration purposes, I'll do a 8GB memory. But if you're setting up a huge player base, like a big huge player base, you can set up a 8GB memory or 16GB memory. I suggest I'm going to say 8GB memory for like demonstration purposes. Now we're gonna create a boot disk. So change that boot disk and change the operating system from Debian to Ubuntu. Because Ubuntu is like way easier to use. You can keep to Debian, but the step will be very different. But it will be the same either way for the Linux part. So the version I'll suggest you go to 18.04.lts. Because Ubuntu 20.04 LTS, I tested it before. Let's say that the file management didn't like that, and it's like hard to find the files. So I suggest you go to 18.04 LTS, that version. You can go to minimal, but I suggest you go to LTS version. So the version will be Ubuntu 18.04 LTS. Your boot disk type, you can be either balanced, SSD, or standard. I suggest you don't use Scream because I don't think you need that. I'll just stick with balance. The size gigabyte will be around 25 gigabyte of memory. Not memory, storage. But if you're having like multiple server with the same virtual machine, I suggest you change the size from 25 to like higher number. But for demonstration purposes, 25 is a perfect spot for me. So click select. That will change your boot disk, and then keep it like the identity API access the same. On the firewall, click the blue text which is under that thing. You see management security disk networking so tenancy. Click that. Networking. Change add a network tags, which is the very important part because this is gonna be for the firewall. So I'll call server-tag and save that. Make sure you remember that. So just for the firewall, and check your virtual machine. Check the price. It's gonna be if you keep your server 24/7. But for me, I'm just gonna show this demonstration purposes, so don't need to worry about the price for me. And you'll have 90 days, which is 3 months, so don't need to worry about that. So click create. Now create the instance for you. And while creating the instance, we're gonna go to navigation menu, go to VPC network, and go to firewall. This will create a this is important for the connection to your server. To create a firewall rule, call this anything you want, so I don't really care. Call this Minecraft Firewall, and that will go to your that will connect to your firewall. Next, we're gonna go to specific target tags, which is your network tags on your virtual machine, which I set is server tag. And IP range will be 0.0.0.0.0. Make sure you have that exact same thing as mine. And then the protocols and ports, this is the most important part. For TCP is the Java versions, and the UDP is the Bedrock version. For TCP, we're gonna stick that and go 25565. That's for the default port for Java servers. For UDP, which is the Bedrock server, the default is 19132, which is the default version of the Bedrock servers. You can click this bolt if you want to. Do not change anything, really. Now click create. That will create the new firewall. Now once it's like setting up, firewall rule and creating, it's all setting up all perfectly. And now once your firewall is all set up, you see this? If you see your firewall right here, like with the protocols and ports, you don't need to worry about that. Make sure that the target tags is the same as your virtual tag. You can check if you say it's target, and then on the virtual machine you can just check on the settings part. Now go back to VM instance and click SSH. That will connect you to the Linux console, which is for the for the setup version of your servers. So let it connect for a while. Now once your screen shows this, next we're gonna do sudo-s, which goes to the root access. If you see this squiggly line, if you see on under like /home/user, for me it says console, so it's like home user console and stuff like that. Now first we're gonna do apt update, which will update all the the files inside the virtual machine, which is not needed to be honest, but for for updating security purposes, I just suggest you do that. Now we're gonna install Java 16. So on the docs I have, which teaches you how to install Java 16. So first we're gonna install wget, which is important. Go here, copy that, click that. I will start installing the Linux. Create a new directory for your for your Java. Go inside the Java, which is a CD. So go change to your directory. Now go inside your Java folder. Now extract this, but this time don't copy exactly what it says in the documentary. You have to instead delete downloads. Don't need this at all. So just erase that and click enter. That will extract everything inside your main directory, which is your user one. So do ls, and if you see said JDK 16.0.1, which is all fully set up. Now we're gonna go enter the environment variables file. So click that, copy that, and you see this. You see your say path and stuff like that. Now go between the quote and the forward slash. Copy that, and then add a colon. Not that one, colon, like this colon. Let's say colon. And now we're gonna go page down and copy the Java home, which is the directory of where you set up the Java 16 is. Now if it shows like this, if you want this like shows like this, you see the JVM home exactly like that. And it's all good. Then you do X, press Y, and environment exit, enter it, save it. Now on step 7, you're gonna copy this, the first line, obviously. Enter that to let the system know the directory of the Java location is. Then we can do the verify the setup. So we enter that. There you go. If it shows this, it is all good and ready. Now you do Java version, and you see, boom. Now you're on the Java version 16.0.1, which is all fully set up, and you have Java 16 fully installed. Now you're gonna go do cd, which go back to your main directory. You do mkdir, and then do vanilla. If you're setting up a vanilla server, you're gonna do ls, and it shows the JDK and the vanilla. I think we don't need this anymore. So do rm-r and copy and paste that, and it just deletes it. You go. So just say vanilla. We go inside the vanilla server, the folder not server, and then it should show nothing. Yeah, it shows nothing. So this is when mcversion.net comes to play. So you can go to save release. So click the download. You see server jar. Right click that. Copy address. Go back here. Do wget. Copy and paste the link. This will install the server jar. ls. It says server.jar. You see this is all fully set up. So now we're gonna do the following command. This is your startup command for your server, whatever not. So do java -xms, which is your minimal amount of RAM, your less RAM, like the minimal RAM you needed. So for me it's 1 GB RAM, and then do xmx, which is the maximum allocated RAM, so 8G, and do -jar, and do server.jar, which is shown as in your directory, and do node UI. This will fully install your. This is not fully installed. Like let's do the setup process on your vanilla server. So just wait for the virtual machine to like set up the VM thing and stuff. And if it says like failed, don't worry about that. This is what you worry about. You say you need to agree to EULA to overrun your server. So do ls to check your files. And you see here it says EULA.txt. You see that? Now you do nano that EULA.txt. You can do vi if you want to, but nano is the easiest one, I found out. So you do nano EULA.txt. You go change the EULA false to true. True. Control X, Y, and enter as you did in the environment variables. And now we're gonna run the same command again, this one, the startup command, and enter that. And now you have to wait for the server to start up the process and stuff like that. While you wait, you're gonna go start up Minecraft because you need to test out if the server runs properly. I'll show you this is I'll show you if you can check. I'll show you how to check your server type, like in the debug menu, which is the F3 button. It shows the server type, which is like vanilla, paper, or stuff like that. It shows in the top left, I think, under your server type. Things like this. Let me adjust for a second so you can show. while it's like setting up, it probably takes a while for the first time setup, but once your spawn area is all set up, it will be like fast and easy when you start out. Like it's around 30 seconds to set up. 30 or 20 seconds for for this time setup, like the first time setup. It's like around let's say it's 50-40 seconds. Not that long though. If your spec is very lower, it's like much lower, then it will probably take much longer than usually take for me. Because mine's not like 8 GB memory. If you like to set up like 4 GB memory, it probably take much longer than mine. But it's probably the same for others. Because you probably installing stuff like that. So once this is preparing the spawn area is all set up and ready to go, it shows like done and will help stuff like that. It shows right here, done. Type help. If you should say cannot keep up, it's like just the first time setup, so it thinks it's a lag, but it's actually not really a lag. It's just like a frozen part, like stuff like that. Now go play multiplayer. Go to multiplayer. Copy the external IP. Go back to your game. Add server. Copy the external IP on your server address. Server name, you can be anything. Google Cloud. Yes. And then once you load, click refresh in case, and you see say Google Cloud on Minecraft server. Now I'll show you it does work. So here's the console, here's the game. Click that, and that will start up the game entirely. And you see there, you see it says I can't keep up. Don't worry about that. It's just like setting up like the generation part. There you go. Look, they're all fully generated, and you see your username, your IP address of the user. This for my IP, I don't really care about blurring it. It's actually a Google Cloud IP also, so you can't track me down. It's just stuff like that. This is like also a console command, so you do all yourself if you want to. There it shows a server made myself. So you do control creative mode and stuff like that. You can do whatever you want. It shows in the console logs and stuff like that. To show that it's a vanilla server, you do F3, and it shows on where it says vanilla server, like quote vanilla server. It shows there that it's a vanilla server right now. So it shows that, and it says Java 16.0.1. It shows the Java version of the server as well. So so pretty set up and all good for now. Now we go back to the console and type stop. If you're already up, you can do /stop if you want to. That will save the world. Just wait for it to save the world and stuff like that. Now, if you want to change the the amount of the message of the day, you can do ls. You see server properties. You do nano server.properties, and now you can change the message of today. You can change the Minecraft server to a vanilla server. If you want to, you can change it anything you want. You can change any game mode and stuff like that. You can just change the spawn protection, which is to prevent play from breaking spawn. Set 0, don't really care. Change the difficulty, yeah. You can do anything you want in here. You can change anything. To save it, to do Control X, and then press Y, and then press Enter to save it. And then you just run the same command, which is gonna be much faster because you already set up the world for yourself, so you don't need to worry about taking for ages. Like it takes 80 seconds, with around 1 minute and 20 seconds it took to load. But this one will be around 20 or 30 seconds because it's already set up the world. It only took us 30 seconds to load. And you click refresh and you see there, look, a vanilla server. That's what I set it up on the server properties. And it's all good and ready. That's how you set up a vanilla server. Now we're gonna set up a paper server, which is a plugin server. Like you can add any plugins you want. So let's get out the vanilla server and make a new directory called paper. And then it shows a paper vanilla. I'll go inside the paper. There you go. I'm inside the paper folder. Now we go to the paper downloads, which is this one. You just click the latest version. You just right click the builds and then go back to your VM, do wget and copy that. Now download the paper version. Do ls etc paper.1.17.1. Rename that because it's gonna be much easier for you. Trust me, it's way better. So rename that to paper.jar and do ls. Now look, it says paper.jar now. Now we could do the same command that we started on the vanilla, and instead of server.jar, we could change it to paper.jar. This will start installing your world folder, because since it's a separate folder, it has to make a world generation again. So you have to wait much longer again. Sorry for the wait though, because I'm too lazy to edit, and I'm not bothered editing this video. Probably have to edit again. And it says like fancy red and yellow and stuff like that. Don't really care about that one. It says EULA, same process, nano, EULA.txt, change the EULA false to true. Same as usual, so every single server. Control X, Y, then enter. Same command, and now that will fully start up your server, and there you go. Look, it's loading the libraries and stuff like that, configuration stuff. You can hit refresh if you want to. It will still say no connection because it's just started. Now once it says prepare for new world, and now same thing. It will probably not gonna connect you. But you can just just wait for the server file stuff to get ready and stuff like that. Now it has to do all the both the overload and the nether and the end, because on vanilla it's just only one world, but on the plugin version like the paper, it has to install both the nether, the end, and the road separately. So, but this one's much faster this time. It's done in 23 seconds, even though it doesn't have the world itself. You refresh, you see this like Google Cloud and stuff like that. Log in, okay. And then once you log in, it shows like your email. There you go. Now you're inside the world. Look at that. And to show that it's a paper version of the server, you do F3, and this is a paper server, stuff like that. Probably if you see like an arrow like this. Because it's probably because of the server lagging a bit, but don't worry about that. So you do the same thing as you usually do. That will just make you up in the server. There you go. Now I'm up. I just do the same thing as usual. Fly around, stuff like that. Okay, since we're doing a plugin version, you can install any plugins you want. So we can just do stop. Just do stop. That was a valid command. You type stop. I'll stop the server. It will save the worlds and the stuff, your data stuff on the server, stuff like that. It's all set up and properly like that. And you do ls, you see some like other folders. This time we're gonna focus on the folder called plugins. That's the very important part. But first, we're gonna install any plugin we want. I'll install a world edit plugin. I'll just go plugin. We search out anything on the internet, probably in a bucket. A bucket or Spigot works, anything fine. You go download latest file. Keep that. I'm going to the downloads. Copy this. No, I don't do that. Copy the link. Copy the link that. Go back to your virtual machine. Go inside the plugins folder. Sorry for misspelling. There you go. Now you do wget, copy that, and copy that. There you go. Now you got the plugin version. You see? You got the world plugin. Now go back to your paper folder by doing c dot. Now go back to the previous folder and do the same command that you start up your server. There you go. Now it's almost like starting up and setting up stuff like that. You're just loading. This time you're gonna have the plugins installed. So you show some extra like let's say the text like that. You see say like this. That's not fully support version of bucket. Don't worry about that. It's just the plugin. You see, if it shows like that, stuff like that, you may see the plugin set up, like stuff like that. Say no, don't worry about that. Now once your plugin's like setting up and stuff like that, just wait for it to like finish the startup. It will be very quickly though. Go all the one area stuff like that. There you go, it's now done. Now you see that? The Google Cloud, Minecraft server. Click join, and now the plugin is fully installed. And this is gonna be cool. Since I installed a plugin version, so I can just do the /1. I can set up a thing. I do brush. I do here. I could go there. Look, I can actually make a whole cave. See? And you can check if you have a plugin on. Do that command, and you see plugins 1 will edit and stuff like that. You see got the plugin properly installed, so you can just destroy the world with world edit. Probably the best tool ever. Never like use it for building mostly. Not this distraction thing. No. I'm not use it properly though. Now we can just stop the server, either console or commands. Just stop the server. And now next up we're gonna install Bedrock servers. So we do cc dot. For this demonstration I don't have Bedrock, but I have it in my phone, so probably gonna show you like screenshot of that. So on the Bedrock official website Minecraft, instead of clicking download, you right click it and click copy link address. You just so you need to make a new directory. So mkdir Bedrock. There you go. You see in a new folder called Bedrock, called cd Bedrock. And now you get to wget that. That will install Bedrock now. There you go. You see that? It's a Bedrock server zip file. I do unzip and that. Now it started unzipping, but since I don't have unzip installed, so I have to install it. It easily shows you just need to install that. So unzip, really install it. Pretty easy. Don't need to worry about the rest. Stuff like that. Just wait for it to finish installing and stuff like that. Now once your unzip package is all installed, you will do the same command as before, and there you go. And now it's inflating, and there you go. Look at that, speeding fast. ls, and you got boom. You got the Bedrock server. To start up a Bedrock server, first you need to do chmod. You do plus x and star. There you go. That would allow you to access the every single files in here inside this folder, of course. To start up this Bedrock server, you do ./v. That will start up the Bedrock server. So to join the server, you just copy the external IP as usual, and the port it will be this one. Don't worry about you don't need to worry about this. You don't need to worry about this thing. The only thing you need to worry about the port is this one, the 19132. Or you can do the 47654, but I suggest it will show the main ones will be in the top one, the very top. Now you can just join the server, anything you want. Okay, now next up we're gonna do is teach you how to host your own host your server, so you don't need to worry about keeping your virtual machine running in the background so you can start playing. Instead, so you can just do screen /s MCS, and then for this you just do Bedrock server that will run the server as normal. Control C to stop it, or for Bedrock's Java servers, I should say. You just do the same command as you start up the command, which is let me show it. This one. Instead of this command, you do the same thing as the Bedrock one. It's screen.s mcs, and it shows that. Don't even worry. It'll all start out in the background. And then you do Control A and D to detach, and to resume, it's Control to type screen/R. If you have a multiple screen show, you just do screen R, and then you have to specify it, which mine is called MCS, which gonna host and which goes to the screen of your server. Control A and D, don't need to worry about that. It will run in the background so you can enjoy the server, and you can just close it wherever you want. Now The next step is gonna be accessing your server files, which is the fun part. It means you can install everything without having to use SSH. And also, this is the best tool you will ever have, and this is gonna be the final tool you need for like installation and stuff like that. So let me close that. And this thing, the two following files you need to install: PuTTY and Bitwise. Click download PuTTY and Bitwise. So for me, I'm using Windows, so I'm gonna use the 64-bit one. And for the Bitwise, I'll just click the Bitwise SSH client installer. I'll install the Bitwise installer. So I'm gonna install PuTTY. Next. And it says that the application thing. You can't see it though because the OBS doesn't record that. It says thing. I just untick it because you don't need it. Finish it. And now I'm gonna install the Bitwise client. This one's a bit faster though, not gonna lie. I click install and that'll start running the installation. This will install the files inside the thing and then the rest. Now once it's done installing, it'll open you to the default profile. Now, next you're gonna go to the PuTTY called PuTTYGen. You need to go to PuTTYGen. Now click generate. Just hover your mouse around the blank space to randomly generate it. There you go. And now, copy this public key. Copy the entire thing. Now go back to Google Cloud, navigation menu. Actually, no, not navigation menu. Go on Compute Engine. You go to metadata, which will still loading, stuff like that. And go to SSH keys. And now you go to edit and add item and copy that. And see, it says your key comment, same thing. So it's all good. Click save and that will save it for you. Now once that is ready, up and going, instead of clicking save private key, because sometimes when you did that, when I use FileZilla, it doesn't recognize it. So instead of using save private key, we're gonna go to conversion. We're gonna go export open SSH key. If you have never set up key paste, don't worry about that. Just click yes. And then we're gonna call any file we want. I'm gonna call this a PuTTY key. Save that, and now it's all good. Now you go back here, you go to client key manager. You go to import, change this to all file, and click this. And that will shows like import client key. Yeah, click import, that will import it. And now it's all good. Now next, keep this thing open. Key comment, put it in the user. The method will be the public key. Put it into auto global one. I suggest putting auto. The host will be your external IP of your virtual machine. So copy that, go back to your host, paste that, and then click login. That says new host key thing. Accept and save. This will be your new save thing. Now you can access SSH, SFP, and stuff like that. So for the file management, we'll use the new SFTP window. And yeah, there you go. Look, you get the file management. And now we're gonna go back. We go back to file. And we're gonna go console. This is where I save all the server files. So you see this? All the server files. Now you click paper and stuff like that. You see all the files of your server. Vanilla. You can do that. It's pretty simple to set up. It's pretty simple, like to upload your world, stuff like that. And that's pretty much all. That's pretty much all the guide I can teach you for now. There'll probably be more, but this is as much as I can probably do, because the time right now is midnight now for me, and I probably need to sleep. But yeah, I'm gonna I'll probably have to do another tutorial on how to set up a very own hosting, but I'll do that in the next video. So yeah, see you guys next time and goodbye.